Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. We are in a bubblelicious market. It's not a bubble, it's a bubblelicious market because this bubble has real substance behind it. It has profits from artificial intelligence that are going to keep coming. It's led by Nvda. Nvda is now the largest market capitalization stock in the world. It's worth $3.3 trillion. It surpassed Microsoft and Apple. I think it's going to be the first $5 trillion stock, and I don't think it's going to be that long to get there. Right now, the price is like 132, 133, somewhere around there. And I think it's going to go to 150 in short order. I think that's baked in. Some are saying it could go to 200. If it goes to 200, I will make over $200,000 on it. Not total. That's just additional above what I've already made. So far this year, trading mostly artificial intelligence stocks and being led astray by the small stock talk. You know, people are talking about these small stocks are going to break out. They haven't been breaking out. They've been breaking down. The Magnificent Seven is the way to go, and I try to pick the leaders among the Magnificent Seven, which right now are Nvda. Stocks related to Nvda, like Broadcom, the stock that connects everything with everything else, that's broken out, and that is going to continue to break out, I think. Broadcom shares split 10-for-1 on July 15th. And I think it will go down initially because the retail crowd has access to it more because it's a cheaper price, and they want to see a little bit of a dip before they feel comfortable enough to buy into it. But I think I'm going to buy it on the dip after it splits, because that's what Nvda did, and that's what numerous other 10-for-1 splits have done in the days immediately after the split. It goes down a little bit and then it goes up in the months after. So I think we're going to continue with Nvda at least to 150. I think it could go to 200. I think this is the basis of artificial intelligence. They're in a similar position to where Apple was with smartphones, where Apple came to dominate smartphones. Nvda, can anybody really compare with them on their GPUs? I don't think so. And I think that's going to continue. So I buy Nvda and I buy selected other artificial intelligence stocks. There's some artificial intelligence stocks that I like, but I do not like the way they move. Nvda has been like the perfect stock. It goes up the way you expect it to, which is very critical to my method of trading, because I keep a 4% stop loss order on all my stocks. I think that when a stock drops 4%, it's time to reconsider what you're doing with that stock. I may necessarily jump right back into it, but I need to pause and see what the situation is, what the basic news is that's driving that stock. And I do that frequently. And the reason some stocks I like, but I do not like the way they move, is simply they trigger the 4% loss too often. And so it becomes like a guessing game where you're going to go with those stocks. And I want to wait for them to settle down a little bit and get a firm trend to the upside. It's okay if they go crazily to the upside, but I don't want them alternating between crazily going upside and crazily going downside. So Nvda is now a $3.3 trillion stock that is responsible for 35% of the S&P 500's gains since the beginning of the year. I've traded many bubbles in the past. I've made most of my money trading bubbles. And one thing I've learned is you do not want to jump out of a bubble too fast. Now, when I say bubble in relation to this market, I don't think it's a total bubble because there's substance behind artificial intelligence. So it's bubblelicious to me. And I think it's a mistake to drop out of this bubble too soon. Just because these stocks are priced highly does not mean that buying small stocks that are lower priced is a bargain. There are some bargains you can afford, and I think small stocks are that bargain you cannot afford. They are not moving the way you want them to move. There may come a time where they come to life. I sort of doubt it. I think the reason why they're not moving is because they use less artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is what's moving the market, and you go where the punch is. You go where the movement is, and that's with artificial intelligence. People often pose the question, when do you sell a stock? Well, I think I have that built into my system of having a 4% trailing stop loss order. At that point, I reevaluate where I am with the stock, and I either jump back in or stay out of it. And right now, they've reduced the settlement times. It only takes 1 day for stocks to settle. So if I sell a stock, I have access to that capital the next day. So if it goes down 4%, you probably want to wait a day anyway to decide whether to get back in or not. I also keep $1 million out of the market. All the money that I do not have in the market, I keep in money markets. My system is set up that way that anytime I'm not using money for stocks, it's getting the 5% in the money market. And I have at least $1 million, sometimes $1.5 million in money markets, that if the market were to do a severe crash, that's no problem, really. I will short the market using SQQQ, which is a triple leverage shorting of the 100 largest stocks on the NASDAQ. And small stocks will crash right along with them. You're not going to get some benefit from being in small stocks. In fact, they will probably crash worse than the Magnificent Seven, than the QQQ of the 100 largest stocks on the NASDAQ. I'm an aggressive bullish trader when the market is bullish like it is now. I'm also an aggressive bear when it goes down. It's easier to make money when the market goes down because I use triple leverage, and I only do this when the market in general is crashing. I don't do individual stocks on a shorting basis, that unless you have special knowledge, that's very dangerous. But when it's obvious the market is going to crash because of some external world event or economic calamity, it's time to short, and I have no problem doing that. And you can make money very quickly because the variability increases. And so you make money going down in a bear market. And sometimes I will also turn bullish in a bear market because the bear market rally tend to scream upwards faster than usual because of the variability. I'm not afraid of a bear market. I will short it all the way down, and I will be bullish all the way up once it reaches the bottom and starts to go up. But you wait till the time is right. You wait until it starts going up again. Right now, being bearish, you want to stand in front of a freight train? That's literally what this is. There's no stopping it, I don't think. We have to get massive bad news of one form or another, and it does not look like that is coming. In fact, things are turning the Fed's way. It looks like a Goldilocks scenario where we're getting the soft landing and not a crash. This is what the Fed wants. For example, we got more data on Friday that retail spending increased by 0.1%. That was less than what was expected, but at least it indicates that retail spending is not falling off a cliff. It's mildly positive. So You want these numbers to come out that way, either mildly positive or even better is a mildly negative, because that indicates the soft landing is in view. The best advice I was ever given on how to trade a bubble was said by an Australian stock trader. And he said, you don't want to lose your nerve when you're trading a bubble, that it is a mistake to jump out too early. Do not parachute out of the plane until the plane looks like it's definitely going down. And looking at the chart, you see my two stars, Nvda and Broadcom, symbol AVGO. And Nvidia has made 174% since the beginning of the year, while Broadcom has made 61% since the beginning of the year. And Broadcom just recently spiked up after reporting earnings. So I think these are the stars. Broadcom will increase my shares by a multiple of 10 on July 15th. And so right now I have 200, which will become 2,000, but I may buy another 1,000 because I think it's going to dip right after they do the split. So I'm waiting for a little dip after they do the split on July 15th, and I will probably buy another 1,000 shares. I have 500 shares of Microsoft, which is worth more than $220,000 right now. And they have a 49% stake in OpenAI. OpenAI will probably be the first to implement GAI, Generalized Artificial Intelligence. I also have 500 shares of Applied Materials, so that gives me over $100,000 in Applied Materials, and they make the machines that make the chips, and they are going to benefit from artificial intelligence increasing. And looking at the chart, you can see they've done outstanding since the beginning of the year. Microsoft has gone up almost 53%, and Applied Materials has gone up almost 19%. Google, also known as Alphabet, symbol GOOGL, has gone up only 25% so far this year, which is outrageous in any other year. But artificial intelligence is such an outstanding investment these days that it seems like relatively nothing. But it is the other artificial intelligence company, which I'm waiting for it to catch fire. Nsit, symbol NSIT, has gone up only 15% since the beginning of the year in less than 6 months. Wow. So these are outstanding investments, and I think they will catch fire. They are catching fire. It's just in comparison to the other artificial intelligence stocks, the stars, they're not doing quite as good. I have 3 stocks that I struggle with whether to buy them, and they are Apple, which has made only 11% since the beginning of the year, Vertiv Holdings, which makes electrical equipment for data centers, notably cooling systems. Its symbol is VRT, and it's done outstanding since the beginning of the year. It's gone up 98%, so this is really great. But the one that drives me the craziest is Super Microcomputer. I've made a lot of money on Super Microcomputer. It's made 223% since the beginning of the year, but it's really been in kind of a downtrend since April. And if you follow it day to day, its price swings day to day are just out of this world. In fact, the price swings are so wild that the day traders I watch, they hesitate to even trade Super Microcomputer, SMCI, because it is so unpredictable. I've had days where I bought 100 shares and it's gone up almost 100 points. And so that's $10,000. Then the next day it'll go down 60, 70 points. So it leaves you wondering, when is this stock going to take a solid hold and kind of move up like Nvda, the way you love to see a stock move? This one has too much variability from day to day to be able to predict what it's going to do. I have to reach the point where maybe I'll just buy a small number of shares of it and just let it ride. And Apple, for the longest time, it hung out in the 180s, 190s, and only just recently has taken off and has gone above $210. And 11% in a year where artificial intelligence has taken off, that is not that impressive. But I think it hasn't taken off until recently because they just recently convinced people with their conference last Monday that they were serious about putting artificial intelligence on their phones. So that's one for the future. I want to see it continuously ride up beyond where it is. And I want to see their commitment to artificial intelligence. But I think it's going to be vital, their partnerships with other entities. That's the way I roll. Good luck to us all.
I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name. Check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change. Possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be.